His Imperial Majesty's service ship, 𝗟𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, runs hard. The engines are dangerously hot. This is not a warp-capable vessel, and it does not have the heavy shielding units over its engineering core that a bigger ship would carry. It does not have navigators, and it does not have much in the way of weaponry. It has a complement of 52 armed guardians taken from Nahān's standing local defense forces, all of whom are now on high alert. It has 6 pulse guns set 4 and an old las cannon lodged under the main cockpit overhang, which Captain 𝗘𝗾𝗂𝗃 has never had a great deal of faith in, and has only had cause to use twice in over 10 years. A service ship is not designed to fight. It is not even designed to be on its own. For the last few decades, 𝗟𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗃 has never been out of the shadow of protective escorts. Its management protocols are all built around short journeys between colony worlds. Its holds stuffed with the synth grains and bulk carb loads. 𝗘𝗾𝗂𝗃 can't remember when he didn't have a destroyer or a monitor within a few hours' hail distance. His training has always emphasized that, if in peril, run to the shadow of your protectors. But there are no protectors left. He is becoming light-headed as he sits on his crude command throne. His palms are wet. He feels as if the universe has folded in on itself. The old certainty's gone, and no new ones ready to take their place. There is a terrible rumor spread over the intership Vox net while it still existed, that the Astronomicon beacon is gone, and that navigators have been driven mad by its loss, and the entire sector fleet is adrift and burning. Now the net is down. No signals from Nahān have been received for 4 days. This feeds other rumors, that Terra itself has been consumed by fire, that monsters are now bursting from the hearts of men, that the chapters of the Adeptus Astartes have withdrawn their protection from the Imperium, and that planets are being devoured one by one. 𝗘𝗾𝗂𝗃 would not normally believe rumors like that. He is the rarest thing in the Imperium, a calm and rational man. And yet now, his all-consuming fear is making him jumpy. "How far?" he asks the Sensorium mistress. Ayla turns to face him from down the auger trench, looking as clammy as he feels. "Nothing yet, but... oh, throne. I have something on the long-range scanners now." 𝗘𝗾𝗂𝗃 feels his stomach lurch. "Show me." His throne-mounted array of lenses switches to near field, rotated for main yaw correction. He struggles to focus as the view pans and then drunkenly zooms. But finally, something comes into focus. Several 100 kilometers off, but closing very fast. He swallows. "What is that?" he croaks. No answers come. No one on the bridge has seen anything like it, except perhaps in their nightmares. "It is on an intercept course," Ayla said weakly. "We cannot go any faster." 𝗘𝗾𝗂𝗃 does not know where the destroyers are. There was something a week ago, only half picked up, about emergency protocols being enacted and all naval assets going to Crimson Station. But of course that meant nothing to him, and in any case they were due to dock with the mass conveyor Devanger 13 by the scheduled switch time, and so could not pay much attention to garbled intercepts. Only the conveyor wasn't there, and the comm fell into silence, and it stayed silent. They have been running for Nahān ever since, perfectly aware that whatever has happened, it is wholly unprecedented and very serious. He finds his hand is shaking and clenches it against the armrest of his throne. "Evasive maneuvers," he says. 𝗟𝗓 stares at him. The navigation captain, 𝗟𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀, stares at him. They are in a volume of empty space. They have standard 𝗟𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗀 drives. They do not know what he means by evasive maneuvers. But 𝗘𝗾𝗂𝗶𝗽𝗺 doesn't say any more. He feels something hot and wet in his lap, and looks down. His nose is bleeding. The drops form a dark web on his fatigues. He wipes the blood away, but it won't stop coming. Then he can hear what sounds like buzzing over the ship's voxcasters, and wraps the transmitter attached to the throne. 𝗟𝗓 looks suddenly unwell. She bends over in her seat, clutching her stomach. 𝗘𝗾𝗂𝗶 struggles to concentrate. "How close?" he asks. 𝗟𝗓 does not answer. 𝗟𝗶𝗍 reaches over to her station and stares at the data. "Holy saints, it's right on us," he says. Then he suddenly belches and vomits over 𝗟𝗓's tactical column, gripping it until his knuckles go white. Automatic proximity klaxons start up, whirling and wailing. The bridge lumens flicker and die, plunging them all into perfect dark. "Emergency power!" shrieks 𝗘𝗾𝗂𝗶, getting to his feet and reaching for his sidearm. Blood is running freely over his chin now, and he feels faint. Dull red lumens glow into life, doing the bare minimum to banish the shadows. He sees silhouettes of his crew, stumbling around. Some bleeding like he is, others gripping themselves in agony that has come from nowhere. The buzzing is getting worse. It makes it hard to think. He staggers across the main dais. He can hear thumps from somewhere up above, and then a big crash. The ship reels, spinning around as if it has been punched by a giant hand. He hears metal screaming against metal. Then a series of explosions. He curses as he realizes that his power pack is empty. He has been meaning to check it properly for the long days of the race home, but something more important has always come up. He lurches back to the throne, to the compartments built into the arms with all the many essential things he needs to store and use. As he drops to his knees, he hears the crashes getting closer. Huge impacts, one after the other, like horrific drumbeats. The klaxons wail and the buzzing starts to hurt his ears. He gets to the compartment, reaches for the security catch, fumbles it. He has blood on his gloves and his chest is now sticky with it. The buzzing becomes maddening, and he swats at imaginary flies. 𝗟𝗓 is still vomiting. The liquid has turned bloody and black. Men are screaming. Women are screaming, and the deck is vibrating underfoot to a steady and increasing slam rhythm. 𝗘𝗾𝗂𝗶 can hardly see what he's doing, but he manages to pull the hatch open and get a fresh power pack out. Trembling, he slots the replacement into the sidearm and depresses the inlet catch. Then he's turning, swinging around to face the bridge, holding the las gun two-handed and trying to find something to aim at. The darkness is as thick as bilge, a jumble of blurred outlines against a dull, red haze. The buzzing drowns out even the screams now, though he still can't see any damn flies. His skin crawls. His bleeding gets worse. 𝗟𝗶𝗍𝗀 is hurling up something stringy. Then the doors blow apart. Bodies of guardians fly through the ragged gap, their limbs flopping. 𝗘𝗾𝗂𝗶 aims his lasgun and fires. 3 lines of searing heat that light up tortured shapes he cannot identify. For a moment he thinks he is shot into a mess of writhing snakes, spilling through the jagged breach to slap and slither across the deck. but then giants, stride into the open. And he sees that the snakes are coils of flesh erupting from thick plates of armor. The giants are monsters of shadow. Their stink is phenomenal, clogging the air. It makes him instantly gag, and he feels saliva pool in his cheeks even as he scrabbles away. They do not hurry. Pale green points of light shine from grotesque helms. Miasma clouds them, swirling about their every movement. 𝗘𝗏𝗃 fires again, then again, his finger glued to the trigger in his panic. He cannot see how many there are. 5, 6. They are not saying anything. He can hear only breathing, like a caged animal's, throaty and phlegmy. His crew are being killed, steadily and methodically, and he cannot do anything. He swivels around, his back against the command throne, and fires some more. Every las beam lights up more horror. Claws ripping through skin, bones breaking under cloven treads. Then one of the monsters comes for him, stalking with deliberation, absorbing the las fire as if it were a patter of raindrops. 𝗘𝗏𝗃 sees a fractured helm and twin lenses that shine with a sick, pale light. He sees a huge scythe sweep through the clouds of flies and dust, ludicrously big with a blunt blade that drips with an oily residue. The monster isn't even really using it. It's holding the weapon one-handed and killing with its other fist, barely reaching out. 𝗘𝗏𝗃, in his mindless terror, notices odd details. He notices that the monster has numbers etched on its armor, hundreds of them, alongside other little signs and symbols he does not recognize. He notices that there is a larger image on the hemisphere of its shoulder guard, a finger held up against a closed mouth. He notices, even in the dark, that the color of the plate is indeterminate, a mottled pattern of greys, blacks, greens, and ivories, like lichen on old rock, overlapping and overlaid in a parody of sedimentation. Then he is looking right into the monster's eyes. He can smell its sulphurous aura, hear its claggy breaths within the cavern of its chest. He wants to scream out, but his throat has seized up. He cannot fire his weapon. He cannot move. The monster leans over him.
You are fortunate,
it says in a slurring Gothic that sounds like something from the dawn of time. The accent is heavy, alien, palpably ancient, distorted by a vox mask and the tubes of whatever else lurks under that nightmarish faceplate. 𝗘𝗏𝗃 can barely process that. Fortunate? Is that a sick joke? The monster looms closer, and the stench nearly makes 𝗘𝗏𝗃 lose consciousness.
you will teach us.
The monster says.
That is what preserves you. Consider it a trade.
𝗘𝗏𝗃 understands none of that. This has become unreal, like a drug-induced dream. Something that cannot possibly be happening. What? He blurts, spitting up more blood. The monster waits patiently.
Let rain to speak. Try again.
Where? Says 𝗘𝗏𝗃. The monster gives him time. Where are you? from? This seems to give it pause. It rests on the scythe, and a gurgling chuckle slips from its helm.
Where are we from?
It draws in a long, wheezing breath. 𝗘𝗾𝗂𝗶𝗽 thinks it is amused, though he has no idea why.
Not the first time I've been asked.
It says,
And it is a story. But, and again, here we have plenty of time. So listen.
Greetings, one and all. If you enjoyed that, you can support me on my Discord, Patreon, Redbubble, or with a channel membership. Or simply like, comment, and subscribe to catch any and all future 𝗘𝗾𝗂𝗶𝗺 videos. And as always, my thanks for watching.